All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Amir Mahmood. He is the CEO of Acarix. And Amir, good to see you. How are you?
Greg, doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, excited to learn a bit more about what's been going on in the company. I know it's been very busy. Before we get into all that, maybe tell me a bit about the company.
Yeah, so really been busy. I've been here since February 1 of 2024. Really jumped in deep. I've been doing an up and down evaluation of the organization, but really what Acarix has is a remarkable opportunity with the first in class coronary artery disease rule out device. So it's first in class, has FDA de novo clearance as well as CE mark. But what we're really focused on is the US, and the opportunity itself is truly large when you look at the population of 18 million patients present with low to moderate chest pain on a yearly basis, and really there's no way to distinguish whether that patient has coronary artery disease or not. And when you look at the clinical data, 9 out of 10 patients presenting with low to moderate chest pain don't have any sort of heart disease or coronary artery disease related events. And so we have the ability to rule out those patients at point of care within 7 to 10 minutes with our new
Yeah.
device.
Yeah, explain that to us because normally there'd be a lot of diagnostic procedures that would have to go on to be able to diagnose someone with coronary artery disease. So tell me a little bit about how the product works.
Yeah, so we have a product. So there's two real facets of the heart. There's the plumbing, which is going to be the blood flow of the arteries. Then there's the electric, which is the EKG of where the heart's going to be. So we're focused on the CAD, so the arteries, the plumbing aspect of it. And what our device does is uses high digital computational learning as well as the high digital acoustics to really distinguish the velocity of the flow of the within the arteries. And based on those data pulls, it is going to be able to differentiate whether you have a significant coronary artery disease event within 96.2% negative predictive value, which is fairly high when you're looking at that. And a traditional facet, when you present with any sort of low to moderate chest pain, you're going to be immediately admitted. You're going to be quarantined for a while. For them to be able to do their diagnostics would typically be a troponin test, a 12-lead EKG. And if they need to, they're going to forward you on. And that forwarding on is going to be to a cardiologist consult. And you're going to either get a CT scan or a nuke scan within the next, let's hypothesize 5 to 30 days. So what our device does, it's the first time that it's been able to provide healthcare practitioners an opportunity to have something that shows them the tool of whether you actually have it or not, with some very significant efficacy that can rule out those patients. And when you look at that, it's not necessarily just the value proposition to the patient, it's also to the physician, but the payers, because when you look at the opportunity itself in differentiation or risk stratification regarding coronary artery disease, you can mitigate 35 to 40% of the patients moving forward to CT scans and nukes that just cost the system money as well as time for the patients. So it's really a value proposition that's comprehensive.
And Amir, you've actually had some real good wins again as far as sales are concerned, and these are not just sales; they're re-ups, which means that
Right.
someone's liked what you've seen and they want to continue using the device that you have, and one in New Orleans, Oklahoma City as well. So it sounds like there's some real good uptick in what you're doing.
Yeah, there really is. And what it is it's novel technology, right? So we're
Yeah.
disrupting the standard of care. So it's behavior related. So being able to identify the technology, start using the technology, and then making it the next behavior or standard of care is really what we're doing. And that takes time. So, but what we're seeing is some significant traction. We're seeing some remarkable results. Just a couple of weeks ago, I had a physician reach out to me directly who was a new user in the Miami area. And he had a patient that presented that was fairly fit, one that didn't have any obesity, doesn't have any common disease states, and had a CAD score because he did feel some chest tightening. He had a CAD score of a 43. Well, they took him in, and within 24 hours, that patient had a triple bypass. And this device definitely saved their lives. And we're working up something for us to be able to present from a patient and physician perspective on that story, because that's truly where you see the value of this device.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. You mentioned the importance of the U.S. market to your company. You're now trading on the OTCQB using the ticker ACIXF. Talk to me a bit about the QB and just the importance of getting some investment from the United States.
Right. So, we're a Scandinavian-based company in Stockholm and in Denmark. We really have a tremendous and great investor base in the Nordics. However, as we're focused on the U.S. as our key market, which is the world's largest medtech market, We wanted to be able to provide the opportunity for our US-based investors or people that are interested in this organization to be traded in a lot easier way than the Nasdaq First North Stockholm. So that it really has made a significant impact on our shareholder base, and we anticipate that continues to move the needle for us in regards to where we're at, how we're working, because awareness is truly what's going to create this model, right? So this is going to help us to really exacerbate the opportunity with the U.S. based investors with the OTC.
All right, let's talk about the rest of this year and beyond. What's sort of the key things that you're looking at the company achieving over the next 6 months?
Yeah, so top line growth always the best, most important factor for us. But we're working on different avenues that really will help to predicate that success, and a couple of them are reimbursement. We're significantly focused on CMS reimbursement. The good news is a lot of times historically when CMS starts to adopt, all the payers start to adopt. But given our value proposition to the payers direct, we've had some direct payer contact. So we're actually going to probably move ahead with payers, private payers, faster than we will with CMS, because CMS is a process. But we're working two different angles with those. We're working directly with CMS. We're focused on the ambulatory outpatient opportunity right now, which would justify all the emergency rooms, emergency departments where a lot of these patients present. But we're working towards evaluating our CPT-3 to CPT-1 code. We're starting a couple clinical trials in the U.S. And then in parallel, we're working directly with payers such as Cigna, United, Blue Cross Blue Shield, because when you look at the ACC data that was published by Dr. Barron from Mass General and Bayham Institute of Clinical Research, it showed 177 million per 100,000 patients saved in the system when implementing CADScor to the workflow. So that in itself, in our wonderful US-based commercially driven economy, it's going to impact the private payers significantly, where they're going to be able to drive sustainable savings by implementation of CADScor. So working many angles, but those would be the two primary aspects that we're focused on. Our commercial efforts, we continue to grow our base of representation and distribution. So acutely focused on those two angles at this point.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. It is very busy, that's for sure.
It's very busy.
Amir, thanks very much. Congratulations on this so far. We look forward to following your story, okay?
Excellent. We appreciate the time.
All right, good stuff. There's Amir Mahmood. He's the CEO of Acarix.